On this channel, we frequently discuss about the feminine societal programming that all modern men go through while growing up. Countless are those who wrongly believe the fairy tales about love and its relevance, relationships, and even how you're supposed to behave with women. The reason why it's so mentioned in so many of the videos here is because I cannot stress enough the fact that you must break out of this fantasy world in order to become a real man who can see the truth for what it is. The process can go in various ways. A lot of you have begun their search for truth thanks to social media or general awareness of the masculinity crisis. But a large number of you might have been painfully enlightened by the challenges presented by life. The real value of these truths is present mostly on the latter. You can definitely make an argument on how many of the self-help videos have pulled men out of depression or given them a valuable life lesson that they'll remember to this day. But many fail to think that all that experience shared amongst these past victims is based entirely on real-life events. Many of these first-hand witnesses of the harsh reality of life had pointed out how most of these are entirely based upon our knowledge of female behavior. That's because a crucial part of a man's life is the women he interacts with romantically. Entire generations of men have been shaped by their experiences with the women of their time, and our current generation is clearly failing. You may be wondering how such a thing is possible. In fact, these type of experiences are so common now that every other person or your male friends or colleagues can be found talking about how dating is pointless and how all women are so-called evil witches who want to hurt you. Consider this video more like a warning of what could possibly happen in your future. This video could prepare you for the worst times of your life, so be careful about the words you'll listen to. With that said, let's discuss the 5 harsh truths about women that men learn the hard way. Number 1, she will relentlessly test you. This is probably the most important thing that you have to remember about female behavior. The vast majority of the things a woman does to you, consciously or more commonly, unconsciously, is done to test your masculine frame. A woman's natural urge is to see how stable and strong you can be in order to achieve better chances at survival. And that's why most women will go after a man that's beyond what they can get. This goes back to the saying, men date down, women date up. When a woman tests you, she merely wants to know if you're suitable for her natural craving for safety and security. So whenever you fail these tests, she'll lose part of the respect and attraction for you. Most men nowadays have no idea that this is even a thing, or that it's even happening at all. They fail constantly and then complain about their dating experiences when drowning in their ignorance. All that you need to do in order to keep her satisfied is focused mostly on your masculine path towards success, regardless of the situation you find yourself in. A man that is capable of aligning his dating life to his purpose is a successful man. So in order to succeed with women, one must not fall for her temptations. One day, it may seem like procrastinating your workout at the gym in order to please her is the best option, but that's just a failure of one of these tests. Of course, this doesn't mean that you need to turn into a self-obsessed, woman-hating man. But learn the difference between pleasing your woman and sacrificing your own purpose in turn. Number 2, she will dominate you if you let her. Look around you. The average dynamic in the modern couple consists of a dominant, strong woman and a weak, fragile, and submissive man. You may wonder why so many relationships of this kind exist in the world, and if this state of being should be the norm. The truth is that it isn't. The reason why there are so many dominant women out there is because their partners are too weak to get the dominant role in the relationship. As harsh as it may sound to you, all relationships have a dominant and a submissive component. Think of a boss and an employee, a king and a queen. Whichever relationship you can think of, There can't be two rulers or two leaders who share equal power. If you don't keep your natural dominant role, she will take advantage of you and turn the relationship into her own personal property. Here's the bitter truth. When a woman protests that they should be the dominant one in a relationship, everyone is quick to praise them for being a so-called slay queen. But the moment a man decides to attend to his natural traditional role as a leader, he is critiqued as a controlling monster. Ask yourself, why does only one side of the argument get shut down? This has led a whole generation of men believing that they should remain quiet and be weak. You may think to yourself, at least it keeps my woman happy. But here's the harsh reality. The twisted dynamics of a relationship will eventually result in its downfall in the long run. Normalize women embracing their feminine side, which is relaxed, modest, embraces beauty and emotion, nurtures, and is warm and gentle. A submissive woman will bring satisfaction to your life that a slay queen never will. This, of course, doesn't mean that you must treat her like an object or an inferior being, but you should also keep in mind that you must never worship her like a goddess or be a slave to her. Simply guide her through life with love and take care of her while taking the lead in as many of your interactions as possible. Number 3, keeping a woman is a challenge. One of the modern lies that's believed the most is the happily ever after. This Hollywood myth has corrupted so many relationships. Most women believe that if their relationship doesn't look like the happily ever after type, then the man they have doesn't deserve their respect. This myth has also led men into thinking that once they get the woman they want, they can relax and enjoy their presence for the rest of their lives without putting in any work. They then proceed to get dumped for another man who has worked hard while they were wasting their time, filling their days in the bliss of love. The truth is that in order to keep your woman, you must work relentlessly on yourself, continuing the path that led you to get her in the first place and build the future you want. Other men can, and probably will, attempt to steal your girl from you. Some might even succeed, but the best way to avoid that situation entirely is to put as much effort as you can to level up every single day. Start by understanding that you can't take her for granted. If you do so and get complacent, you will go down in the list of the options available to her. And the lower you are, the higher the chances of you getting dumped for someone who's better. Remember, brothers, these are the harsh truths that might even come across as offensive to some, but most men learn them too late. So always remind yourself that hard work and discipline are the way to life as a man. Don't get me wrong, love and attraction are great, but they are momentary places of rest. Don't let them slow down your progress. Most women say they love you unconditionally, but they don't understand what that word even means. If you became an alcoholic, lose respect for other men, her unconditional love won't be so unconditional anymore. Keep in mind, the only person who will love you unconditionally is your mother, and even more so, God Almighty, period. Number 4, women dislike emotional men. I've seen so many pieces of information regarding the validity of men's feelings. It is indeed important to have awareness over men's mental health problems, and I'm not against all the improvements society has made in that aspect. What I am against is the weak mentality that's been publicized lately. Men nowadays believe that being emotional is not only normal, but also good, since it makes you attractive to potential partners. This couldn't be further from the truth. Women hate the modern emotional man as much as any other toxic behavior. The worst part is that virtually any of them will tell you, "Oh, men should cry." You should be more in touch with your emotions, causing you to sink deeper into the belief that's destroying you. The best thing to do in this case is to develop a strong, emotional, stoic control over yourself and stay strong as nature intended. Crying in front of her is the fastest gateway to lose all and the rest of her respect and attraction. And that's not even considering the horrible effects it will have for the rest of your social relationships. Most men get this wrong. They think that by not crying in front of a woman, it means that you need to be some type of macho man and hide your emotions. That's not true. Simply understand that there are much better ways of fixing your problem that will have a much better ROI for you than whining about it. Study the Stoic mindset and maintain a stable hold over your feelings, and you'll see people, and most importantly women, respect you a lot more. And finally, number 5, trusting her words is a mistake. This might be seen as common sense by some of you, but for many, this is nothing but a sexist message about women. The vast majority of men out there blindly trust the words of their partners, only to find out that they've been cheating on them all along, or have lied in some terrible way. That's because women have the power to easily fool us with their gentle mannerisms and tones, while they're secretly plotting against us. I am of course not saying that everything she says is a lie or that you should never trust her, but what I am telling you is that her actions are worth 10 times more than her words. She could be lying or betraying you, but regardless of what she tells you, you'll be easily able to sense changes in her behavior. So learn to read her actions and compare them to her words. So remember, brothers, these are lessons that are best learned in the real world, and most men learn them too late. Use these tips as a tool to help you navigate through these situations. To see the next best way to level up as a man, watch this video here.